My name is Esther. I am 35 years old. I am a wife who talks too much. That is my confession. I am the nagging wife. I did not plan to become this woman. When I got married at 26, I thought I would be calm and kind. I thought I would smile every day and speak soft words. I thought love would make everything easy. But love did not make me soft. It made me afraid. I live in a small house with my husband, Michael. The house is not big, but it is clean. The walls are light cream. The kitchen has a small wooden table. Every morning, I wake up at 6. I go to the kitchen. I make coffee. I stand by the stove and wait for the water to boil. I like to watch the steam rise. It feels quiet and safe. Michael wakes up at 6:30. He walks into the kitchen with slow steps. His hair is messy. His eyes are still sleepy. He sits at the table and checks his phone. I put a cup of coffee in front of him. Sometimes he says thank you. Sometimes he does not. This is where it begins. Small things. Very small things. "Can you put your phone down?" I ask. He nods, but he keeps looking at the screen. I feel something tight in my chest. It is not anger at first. It is fear. Fear that he is far away from me. Fear that he does not see me. So I speak again. "You are always on your phone." He sighs. "It's just work, Esther." I cross my arms. I say, "Work again, even at home." It sounds like a simple sentence, but my voice is sharp. Even I can hear it. This is how most of our mornings start. Coffee, silence, my voice, his sigh. During the day, I work from home. I have a small desk in the corner of the living room. I answer emails, I join online meetings, I write reports. My work is not exciting, but it is steady. I like steady things. I like to know what will happen next. Michael works at an office in the city. He leaves at 8. Before he leaves, I remind him of many things. "Did you take your lunch? Did you call the plumber? Don't forget we have dinner with your mother on Friday." He says yes to everything. Sometimes he smiles. Sometimes he looks tired. After he leaves, the house becomes very quiet. I wash the cups. I wipe the table. I look at the empty chair where he sat. I tell myself I am a good wife. I take care of things. I remember things. I hold everything together. But when evening comes and he walks through the door, I do not greet him with a hug. I greet him with questions. "Why are you late? Did you finish that project? Did you pay the electricity bill?" He puts his bag down slowly. He answers in short words. "Traffic. Yes, I will." Sometimes he tries to tell me about his day. He starts with, "You know what happened at work today?" But I interrupt him. "Wait, before that, can you fix the kitchen light? It's still broken." He stops talking. He nods. He goes to get his tools. I watch him from the kitchen. I tell myself I am helping. If I do not remind him, things will not get done. If I do not speak, who will? One evening, my friend Claire came to visit. Claire has known me since high school. She sat on the sofa with a cup of tea. She looked at me in a way that made me uncomfortable. "You seem tired," she said. "I am not tired," I replied quickly. "I just have a lot to manage." She smiled gently. "You always have something to manage." I laughed, but it felt strange. If I don't manage things, everything will fall apart. Claire looked at the kitchen. She looked at the clean counters, the straight chairs, the tidy shelves. "Nothing looks like it's falling apart," she said softly. I did not answer. That night, after Claire left, I watched Michael as he sat on the couch. The television was on, but he was not really watching it. He looked quiet. Too quiet. "Why don't you talk more?" I asked. "About what?" He turned his head. "About your feelings. About us." He took a deep breath. "Esther, every time I start to talk, you correct me, or you remind me of something I forgot." His words felt heavy. I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to say he was wrong, but a small part of me knew he was not. "I just want things to be better," I said. "They are not bad," he replied. "They just feel loud." Loud. The words stayed in my mind. After he went to bed, I stayed in the living room. I turned off the television. The house was very still. I could hear the clock on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. Was I loud? The next morning, I tried to be quiet. I made coffee as usual. I placed the cup in front of him. I did not say anything about his phone. I did not remind him about his meeting. The silence felt strange. It felt like holding my breath. He looked at me. "Are you okay?" "Yes," I said quickly. "I'm fine." But inside, I was not calm. I was nervous. If I did not speak, would he forget everything? Would he stop caring? Would he drift away from me like smoke? That fear has been with me for many years. It did not start with Michael. It started long before him. When I was a child, my father left our family. He did not shout. He did not fight. He just packed a bag one day and said he needed space. I was 10 years old. I watched him close the door. I waited for him to come back. He did not come back. My mother became quiet after that. She moved slowly. She forgot things. Bills were unpaid. The house was messy. I learned to take care of small tasks. I reminded her about appointments. I cleaned the kitchen. I made lists. I told myself that if I watched carefully, if I spoke enough, if I reminded everyone of everything, no one would leave again. I never told Michael this story in detail. I mentioned it once, but I laughed while I spoke. I said, "It was a long time ago. I'm fine." But maybe I was not fine. One Saturday afternoon, Michael was fixing the kitchen light. I stood behind him. "Make sure it's tight," I said. "It is," he replied. "Are you sure?" He stopped and turned around. His face was not angry. It was tired. "Esther," he said slowly, "do you trust me?" The question felt like a stone in my stomach. "Of course I trust you," I said. "Then why do you check everything I do?" I opened my mouth, but no words came out. I wanted to say it was because I cared. I wanted to say it was because I loved him. But love should not feel like this. That evening, we ate dinner in silence. The sound of our forks on the plates was loud. Too loud. After dinner, Michael went for a walk alone. He does that sometimes now. He says he needs fresh air. I sit at the table and look at my hands. I remember the girl I was at 26. She believed marriage would feel like safety. She believed love would mean someone stays. She did not know that fear can follow you into a new house. When Michael came back, I was still at the table. "I don't want to fight," he said gently. "I don't either," I replied. He sat down across from me. "I love you, but I feel like I am always being tested." Tested. The word hurt. "I'm not your father," He added softly, "I'm not going to disappear because you forget to remind me about a bill." My throat felt tight. I had never connected these things so clearly. I had never said the fear out loud. I just, I don't want things to break, I whispered. He reached for my hand. Things don't break because you are quiet for 1 minute. We sat like that for a long time. No television, no phones, just the sound of our breathing. For the first time, I saw something clearly. My words were not only about dishes or lights or bills, they were about control. They were about fear. And fear was making me loud. I did not become a nagging wife in one day. I became her slowly, one reminder at a time, one worried thought at a time, one small fear at a time. That night, I lay in bed next to Michael. He was already asleep. I watched the shape of his face in the dark. I asked myself a simple question. If I stopped speaking for a moment, would he really leave? The answer did not come quickly, but the question stayed with me. I closed my eyes. My heart was still heavy, but it was also honest, and honesty felt like the first small step towards something new. The next week felt different, but not in a dramatic way. Nothing big happened. There was no fight. There was no sudden change. Life moved in the same slow rhythm. Coffee in the morning, work during the day, dinner in the evening. The clock on the wall still ticked in the same steady way. But inside me, something was shifting. I was watching myself. On Monday morning, Michael spilled a little coffee on the table. My first instinct was to say, "Be careful, Michael, you always rush." The words were ready in my mouth. They were easy. They were familiar. I stopped. He quickly grabbed a napkin and wiped the table. "Sorry," he said. "It's okay," I replied. My voice felt strange, softer, almost unsure. He looked at me for a second as if he was waiting for more. When nothing else came, he gave a small nod and continued drinking his coffee. It was such a small moment, but to me, it felt big. I had stayed quiet. The world did not fall apart. The table was clean again. He was still there. Later that day, while I was working at my desk, I thought about trust. I thought about how I said I trusted him, but my actions told a different story. Trust is not only a word, it is space. It is silence. It is allowing someone to make a mistake without stepping in. I realized I had not given Michael much space. On Wednesday evening, he came home later than usual. It was almost 7. My phone was in my hand. I had already typed a message. "Where are you? Why are you late again?" I looked at the screen for a long time. Then I erased the message. When he walked through the door, he looked tired but calm. "Sorry I'm late," he said. "There was a meeting at the last minute." I wanted to say, "You should have told me." I wanted to ask 10 questions. Instead, I took his bag and placed it by the door. "Do you want dinner now?" I asked. He blinked, surprised. "Yes, thank you." During dinner, he started talking about the meeting. I listened. I did not interrupt. I did not correct him. I did not turn the conversation into a list of tasks. He talked for almost 10 minutes. That is longer than usual. His hands moved as he explained something about a new client. His eyes were alive. I noticed something painful. I had missed this part of him. I had been so busy managing our life that I forgot to know the man I married. After dinner, he smiled at me. It was a small smile, but it was real. "You seem different this week," he said. "Different how?" I asked. "Quieter," he replied carefully, "but not angry, just calmer." His words touched me in a gentle way. "I'm trying," I said. He reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I can see that." That night, I lay in bed and felt something I had not felt in a long time. It was not excitement. It was not strong happiness. It was peace. A thin, soft line of peace. The change is not simple. On Friday, I had a hard day at work. A report was late, a client sent a rude email. My head hurt, I felt tired and tense. When Michael came home, he forgot to buy the milk I had asked for. The old feeling came back fast, hot, sharp. "I told you this morning we needed milk," I said. "I'm sorry," he answered. "I forgot. I'll go back out and get it." "You always forget," I said before I could stop myself. He froze for a second. His shoulders dropped slightly. "Okay," he said quietly. He picked up his keys. As he walked to the door, I felt the weight of my words. I had seen his face change. I had seen the small light disappear. "Michael, wait," I called. He turned around. "I'm sorry," I said. The words felt uncomfortable, but true. I had a bad day. I shouldn't have said that. He studied my face. "It's okay." "No," I said softly. "It's not just today. I do this often." There was silence between us. Not angry silence, just honest silence. He walked back and put the keys down. "Esther, I know you want everything to be right. I know you are scared of things going wrong. But when you say always or never, it feels like I can never be enough." I swallowed. I thought about how many times I had used those words. Always, never. They are strong words. They leave no room for change. "I don't want you to feel that way," I whispered. He reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I can see that." We sat on the couch together. The television was off. The room was quiet. "I think I've been trying to control everything," I said, "because when I was a child, everything felt out of control." He listened without interrupting. "When my father left, I felt like I missed something, like there was a sign I did not see. So now I look for signs all the time. I correct small things. I remind you of everything. I think if I watch closely enough, nothing bad will happen." Michael took a deep breath. "Esther, I'm not leaving. Not because you remind me. Not because you stay quiet. I'm here because I choose to be here." His words went deep into me. Choose. He chooses to stay. For so long, I believed love was something fragile, something that could disappear if I was not careful every second. But maybe love is not that weak. Over the next few weeks, I practiced small changes. When he washed the dishes, I did not stand behind him and point out the spots he missed. If I saw a small mistake, I let it be. The house did not collapse. The world did not end. Sometimes I still failed. Sometimes I spoke too quickly. But now I noticed it. I said sorry more often, not in a dramatic way, just simple and clear. "I'm sorry, that was not fair." Each apology felt like putting down a heavy bag I had carried for years. One Sunday morning, we sat at the kitchen table with our coffee. Sunlight came through the window. The room felt warm. Michael looked at me and smiled. "It feels lighter here lately," he said. I looked around the same kitchen I had cleaned and managed for years. The same table, the same chairs. "It does," I agreed. I realized something important then. The house was never heavy. My fear was heavy. Being a wife does not mean holding every string in your hand. It does not mean speaking first and last. Sometimes it means trusting silence. Sometimes it means letting another person carry his own weight. I am still learning. I am not suddenly perfect. I still feel that old fear sometimes. When he is quiet, a small voice inside me asks, "Is he pulling away?" But now I answer that voice. I say, "No, he is just quiet." I look at him sitting on the couch, reading a book or checking his phone. I remind myself that distance is not the same as leaving. Silence is not the same as loss. One evening, as we were getting ready for bed, Michael touched my arm. "I feel closer to you lately," he said. His words filled my chest with warmth. Not loud warmth, not fire, just steady heat. "I feel closer too," I replied, and I knew it was true. I used to think my voice was protecting my marriage. I thought my reminders, my corrections, my constant questions were proof of love. But love does not need to shout to survive. Love can breathe in quiet rooms. Now, when I make coffee in the morning and watch the steam rise, I do not feel the same tight fear. I feel something softer. I feel trust growing slowly, like a plant that does not need to be pulled to grow faster. I am Esther. I am 35 years old. I was a nagging wife because I was afraid. Now, I am learning to be a trusting wife because I am brave enough to be quiet. Marriage, I have learned, is not a list of tasks to control. It is two people sitting at the same table, choosing each other again and again. And sometimes, the strongest thing I can do is simply hold my cup of coffee, look at my husband, and let the silence be kind.